What is up, my butter biscuits? Today's video is going to be my anti-haul. Obviously, as you guys can tell by the title, y'all, this I was kind of surprised about because I thought there was going to be like a whole lot more collections coming out, being that it is summertime as well as like Pride season. And I was like, you know what? Last month I was like, I'm probably going to do two because I skipped on April, and then I didn't even end up doing two because there just wasn't really too many collections. And I'm actually kind of surprised, being that it is Pride season, there isn't more Pride collections. Which I do have to say, I feel like it would be kind of difficult as a brand to do a Pride collection because let's just keep it real. How many rainbow palettes can you do? I feel like every single brand out there has probably done a rainbow color story, and on top of that too, it just gets a little bit repetitive. I feel like if you have one rainbow palette, then you have enough because it's like literally every color, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, y'all, before jumping into this video, can you guys believe I am leaving tomorrow on my trip? I'm going to be gone for 11 days, so I'm pre-filming right now, and I literally woke up this morning. In my whole 33 years of living, I have never had a pimple around my eye, and I got this pimple right here, and I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but in person, y'all, oh, y'all know I already have a massive brow bone. Like, I'm literally, I think I'm like part Neanderthal. Is that like the word? I don't know, y'all. Like caveman. And I feel like my brow bone is already so massive. And on top of that, with this on there, it's like making it so much bigger. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. And I'm like, man, this would happen right before my trip. I feel like because I was stressing out. But if I'm being honest with you guys, I probably was partying a little bit. You know, hitting up Pride and, you know, having more drinks than I probably should. And that's probably why this came up. Anyways, let me shut up. You guys don't even care about that. I know I said recently that I'm going to be doing a full face of favorites. That is going to have to probably wait until the end of the month, maybe the beginning of July. I do apologize for that, but I am going to be gone for literally like, you know, almost 2 weeks. So I'm like, you know what? I'll get to it. I did not forget about it. I'm going to do it, I do promise, but it's just going to be a little bit while longer because I just don't have the time to do it right now. Before I start rambling, make sure you guys click the link down below. Head over to my second channel. That's my travel channel with my brother. We are headed on a 8-day cruise, but we are going to be gone for 11 days. So I have a lot of fun videos coming, and I do apologize if I'm repeating myself on this, but our videos that we have uploaded recently probably are a little bit boring, only because we did need filler videos because we were leaving on this big trip. So I'm like, oh, we can't really travel around too much because I'm spending a lot of money on this trip. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, fun videos are coming. I do promise. Make sure you guys click over there, check that out. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get into it. I feel like within today's video, I'm going to be talking at like record-breaking speeds only because I'm trying to film 4 videos before leaving on my trip. And y'all, I still gotta pack, I gotta shave, I got so much to do, y'all. I'm just like, oh my gosh, all over the place. So let me like hurry up and ramble on through this. The first product that I want to talk about right here, and you know what, it's so crazy because like typically I would like kind of like a bronzer palette or a blush palette if you could like mix and match. This one right here, I don't think I'm a fan of. This is the Made by Mitchell. This is called the Bronze Book Pressed Blusher Palette. There is literally one shade within this palette that I like. There are 2 different sides of it, so you do have a lot of colors. As I've mentioned to you guys before, I feel like products like this are really good products if you guys are working freelance makeup artists. For an individual person like myself who no longer freelances, I no longer do makeup on people, I feel like this to me would be a complete waste of money. So this is why I wouldn't get this. If there was ever in the future, say for example, I've always said this before because I love to mix and match bronzers, and on top of that too, I feel like it's really nice to be able to build on top of them. Say for example, if you want to start off with a little bit more of a cool toned bronzer or like a neutral tone bronzer and then put a little bit of warmth on top of it, you know what I'm saying? Mix and match. I think that would be really cool. I feel like brands should probably, I don't know, come up with like maybe a 3 to 4 pan, like kind of like booklet of it. Do you know what I'm saying? As to have different skin tones. Say for example, you have one for like light, and then you have for medium, and then you have for deep. And I feel like that would be really cool rather than having a book like this that has 12 different shades. Like I did say before though, I do feel like this is a good product, and it is obviously geared towards people who are probably freelancing. This is probably not made for just one individual person because this is just like way too many shades. Although I'm sure you can definitely use this as an eyeshadow palette if you want to, but for me, I will be passing on this. This next product right here, maybe I'm just not understanding it. This right here is they're actually all new brow products from Benefit. The one that I'm really kind of tripped out about, like the brow enhancing serum, that one I totally get. Recently I've been using the Grandy serum or whatever, and I do want to say I do notice difference with that. As I've mentioned to you guys before, I really did like the Ordinary one, and y'all, I saw results within that, like within the matter of like 2 weeks. But then as soon as I stopped using it, then I was like, oh my gosh, why is it starting to look like way more bold? With the Grandy one, y'all, I've been using it now, I want to say maybe for about 3 months, and I definitely do notice a difference. And I do feel like with that one, they're not going bald immediately after. The Ordinary one kind of sketched me out a little bit because I was like, oh my gosh, that's working really fast. But then as soon as I didn't use it for like a week, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going bald. So the serum in here, maybe that's something I would try, but I want to specifically talk about the Wow So Soft Brow Oil. It's a conditioning brow oil. Brows feel soft, nourish, and condition, and enhances shine. This to me, I'm just not getting. Like, why would you need this? I have done makeup on so many people before, and I feel like it's very, very rare for people to have extremely coarse brow hair. Yes, I have come across it, but I feel like this right here is really, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a, like, I don't know, I feel like it's a useless product if I'm being quite honest with you, only because I do feel like so many people don't have like super, super stiff brows. Maybe this would be something that would be better off as kind of like a oh my gosh, a beard oil, you know what I'm saying? Because I do feel like beard hair is coarse, it is a little bit more stiff, and sometimes, you know, obviously if you're gonna grow out your beard, you want it to be a little bit more soft because hairs get wiry and stick out and like you know, a hot mess. So I feel like this would be really good for that, but I don't know, I just really haven't come across too many people who have very, very coarse brow hairs. I do feel like while I was working at MAC, I did probably come across maybe like 3 or 4, I will say, that their brow hairs were a little bit tedious and it was pretty hard to, you know, manage. But I feel like you just use a good brow gel and then you're like good with that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, this one to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not understanding it. Maybe I would have to see it in action. But as of right now, I'm just kind of like, no. Here we have another Disney collection. This is a brush collection. I've mentioned you guys before, I just feel like the Disney collections are so extremely played out, especially when it comes down to like the basic characters, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I do know what, like with the Little Mermaid coming out right now, you can probably do some really fun, cool collections with that. But taking it back to just like the basic old Mickey Mouse collections, I'm like, okay, let's keep it real. How many brands have done that before? It's just so repetitive. And on top of that too, I have never tried Spectrum brushes before, but I do want to say, I just feel like this looks so extremely cheap. Like, I don't know why, to me, I just look at this and I'm like y'all, literally zooming in on the big powder brush, it just looks so cheap. Like, it looks like those types of brushes that you can get at like the 99-cent store that just like bounce the product off of your skin. Do you know what I mean? Rather than work the product into the skin. Like I have said, take that with a grain of salt, obviously, because I have never tried Spectrum brushes before, so I really don't know the quality of them, but I am just basing this off of looking at this online. Obviously, when I do my anti-hauls, it's really just based on like window shopping, do you know what I'm saying? And like first impressions, and my first impressions of this is it does look pretty cheap. This is a 10-piece brush set for $56. I guess that's not too bad of a price point for having 10 brushes, but I definitely wouldn't get this, only because first of all, I'm just really not that much into Disney, and on top of that too, I feel like when it comes down to brush collections and makeup collections, there's just so many Mickey Mouse and Disney collections that I do feel like it is played out, and I'm just not a fan. Next up on the list right here, we have new shades from the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow blushes. These are $40 each. First of all, okay, you guys already know that I'm just way too cheap. I'm not going to spend that amount of money on a blush. $40 is really pricey. I do feel like the average blush is probably like $24. Did I say brush before that? Y'all, every single time that I'm doing makeup videos, I swear to you, I literally always twist up brush and blush, and I'll be editing and I'm like, why did I say brush instead of blush? Like, oh my gosh. Anyways, these right here to me personally are way too pricey, as I have mentioned to you guys before, and I don't really see too many people commenting about this in the comment section. Am I just tripping on this, or do I feel like everything from Dior, as far as their like powders and stuff like that and their eyeshadows, basically their powder products, don't they look extremely cheap? Like, I look at this and I'm like, this packaging to me looks so cheap, especially for $40. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just it being see-through, maybe it's the D on D. I don't know. Something about it looks so extremely cheap to me, and when I look at this, I'm like, I'm not going to spend $40 on it. I do feel like packaging can persuade me. If I see something that's like really nice packaging, I'll be like, oh, okay, that's a little bit of a collector's piece, you know what I'm saying? But something like this, I just don't see it. I'm just like, nah, I definitely would not be into this for the packaging, for the price point. And if I'm being really honest, there's really only one shade that I like in this, which I do believe is the Rosewood shade, and that's pretty much it. The rest to me are just, they're a little bit too vibrant for me. It's something that I definitely would not wear. The Rosewood shade though does look pretty, but not for $40. This one right here is from a brand that I have never heard of before. This is from LH Cosmetics. Y'all, I do want to say right here, only because I haven't heard of them before, am I tripping, or I feel like this price point is kind of high for a 9-pan eyeshadow palette? It is $49. And I do want to say with this, obviously the packaging does look pretty cheap too, and on top of that too, I'm just keeping it real, their whole logo to me, I don't know the aesthetic of the brand. Maybe I should have googled it before even talking about them, but just looking at that, it looks like something that you just type up on a typewriter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, their logo to me looks like it took absolutely no effort at all, and it just looks, I don't know, but maybe that's their whole brand. Maybe they're meant to be minimalistic, but I don't know. First of all, I do want to say, if you are looking for a cool tone eyeshadow palette, this is cute. And I do want to say too, because it thrown me off when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, that yellow shade right there, it's kind of really random when you're having this cool tone palette to have that pop of yellow in there. It's obviously going to give me a little bit of like New Year's vibes, New Year's Eve vibes. But then looking at the swatch, I'm like, wait, it does not look that yellow at all, like not in the slightest. Like literally look at that last shade right there. It actually just looks like a very, very, like, I don't know, like tan shimmer. It's so weird how it looks so yellow in the pan, and then on the swatch I'm like, oh, it's tripping me out, if I'm being quite honest with you guys. But honestly, me personally, I'm really not even into cool toned eyeshadow palettes. I'm just not much of a gray type of person. I will mix in a gray sometimes with specific shades if I want to like add a little bit more dimension, a little bit more contour to the look, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to a full palette like this, I'm kind of not a fan of. And on top of that too, I don't know, I feel like $49 for 9 eyeshadows. I don't know, especially because I don't know if the brand is reputable. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if it was like a high quality brand, then I would be like, oh, okay, cool, they have high quality shadows, I totally get it. But yeah, for me not hearing of this brand, and on top of that too, the packaging looking extremely cheap, and just, I don't know, the whole LH Cosmetics thing, it just, I don't know, y'all. Is that like, I don't know, I just don't like it. I'm not really a fan. This right here, y'all already know that I'm just gonna be so repetitive on. This is the new Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil. These are $30 each, which I do want to say is a little bit on the higher end as well too. I don't know, maybe just because me, like, if I'm being straight up with you guys, if I'm gonna buy an individual blush, like, y'all, I'm like $25 and under on it. But I do want to say though, I have recently been into Makeup by Mario products, like, oh my gosh, y'all, the skin enhancer as well as his foundation. I have on his foundation right now. I don't have on the skin enhancer, y'all, because I just hurried on up, slapped something on my face. But let me tell you guys, the skin enhancer has been one of my favorite products. Whenever I get around to doing a full face of my current favorite products, that will definitely be in use. Absolutely love it. I feel like it adds a beautiful finish to the skin, and on top of that too, it adds a beautiful warmth that doesn't like give it too much of an orangey look, do you know what I'm saying? Or too much of a cool toned like gray contoury look. It's really perfect. It's like in between. So I've really been loving his products. But you already know, when it comes down to blushes like this, cream blushes are just not going to be for me because of my little skin condition right here. Whatever I have going on, one day I'll be able to afford to go to a dermatologist. That day is not today though, y'all. I feel like I'm gonna shock you guys. One of these days I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with my skin and why product does not cling to these areas, and then I'll be using cream blushes, because I absolutely do love the finish of cream blushes. And I've seen these in action. I've seen a couple of TikToks as well as I have seen a couple of his videos, and I'm like, y'all, they look absolutely gorgeous. If you guys are into cream blushes, I think that you guys may like these. And the top two, actually 3 shades I like within this, the top left one and then the top 2 right ones, I feel like those are so beautiful. Actually, even the bottom left one too, like, oh my gosh, the shades are really, really pretty, but this is just not for me. Next up on the list, we have new Mineral SPF Hydrating Lipsticks. Now, this is on the list to me only because I feel like these shades are just too intense for me. Obviously, I do know that there are some people out there who do like to wear makeup when they go to the beach or they're going to be out in the sun, so having SPF on your lips, I do feel like is beneficial. Let me tell you guys, I have learned my lesson probably 3 times over. I really should have like learned it sooner, but definitely always put an SPF on your lips whenever I go to the beach or if I go to the lake or something like that, y'all. My lips end up getting so dried out. So I definitely do feel like I need an SPF on my lips, but I personally would not be wearing this because it has too much color. I do feel like if you do want a little bit of tint or a little bit of shine, like, this is actually really beautiful. These are $24, by the way, and it does have an SPF of 30. This is from Supergoop. I do wish that they did come out with a clear one, but then mark down the price. Like, maybe let's just say, like, I don't know, maybe like 18 bucks for a clear one, because then I actually would have been into it, because I did used to use the Sunbum one before. But I did notice with that, and y'all, I'd be reapplying my chapstick. My lips still got burnt, but I do want to say the one that I did use was like an SPF 15, maybe. Maybe it was like a low SPF. So I would like to try something that has an SPF 30, but I'm like, this is just way too much color for me. Maybe in the future they will come out with a clear one that everybody can wear, because this is not something that I would be wearing. Because y'all, when I go to the beach or the lake, I don't have any makeup on at all. I have on my SPF and that's about it. So I feel like me not wearing any makeup and then throwing on this, it'll look a little bit funny. So I'm gonna pass on this. All right, y'all, that is it for my June anti-haul. Make sure you guys let me know down below what you plan on not purchasing and why. Make sure you guys let me know what you think about the summer collections. I don't know if I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm not really seeing it, but I'm not seeing too many summer collections, which is kind of trippy to me. So make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.